Welcome to my Sci-Fi Collectors channel. Today I want to talk about some of my Star Wars collection that's 20 years old. This is from 20 years ago. I just took out my boxes with the new movie coming out and started pulling out some of the old figures. This is the Power of the Force series from 1995. I'm going to talk about the Luke Skywalker Xwing fighter, these variations, talk about the price, and then I'm going to do another video for the rest of them. Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing fighter pilot gear, and you can see the long saber. This was one of the first variations that came out of the X-Wing fighter. If you turn it over, you can see a number down here. I don't know if you can see it clearly on the camera, but it's usually 5 digits and then it's a decimal point, and it usually says 00. 00 would mean it's the first figure that came out. This one actually says 0.01, and the variation, the change, is right here. The word fighter is a capital F. The first version that came out had a lowercase f and they changed it. So just the change in the spelling on the packaging changed this digit back here from 0.00 to 0.01. But the figure and the saber stayed the same. So it was a long saber, you know, X-Wing pilot, nothing changed. Well, what they decided is that this lightsaber is too tall. It's as actually tall as the action figure, and they didn't want that. They didn't think that that was realistic. So they changed it down to a smaller saber. This is called the transitional packaging, or the transitional figure. And really it's a smaller saber, but it's still sitting in the long tray. There's a gap here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a gap here where a long saber would actually fit in. But during the transition from this figure over to the one I'm going to show you in a second, they kept the long tray and they just dropped in a shorter saber. And the number back here is still 0.01. They didn't change it to 0.02, but the numbering really does work most of the time to show you how the figure progresses from 0.00, and some figures go all the way up to like a 0.04 where they're making changes. When you get to the third variation, you have the short saber in a short tray. There's no gap up here. So this is still 0.01 figure, but you can see, let's see if I can hold these. Long saber, short saber in the long tray, transition over to the final version, which is a short saber in a short tray. Talk to you about the price in a second. And then, I think it was 1997, let's see. Yeah, 1997. They went to the green card. Some of the packaging changed, of course, in the color, some of the wording. This says Collection 1, the other ones don't. And they added a hologram. If you actually peel this hologram off, there is the same exact picture underneath. So sometimes you'll see a version like this without a hologram. That's just because somebody actually peeled that off. And when you turn this over, you can see a 0.02. Now the price for these figures, they're 20 years old. If you go to a convention or you go to a shop, you're going to pay somewhere between $10 to $25. The short saber and the long tray seems to be the rarest variety, or rarest version. And if you get on eBay, there's a Darth Vader version of the short saber and the long tray going for $1,000. I wish that was the price, then I would have some money to buy other things. But that's not true. So for these variations, the original through the green card, somewhere between $10 to $25, maybe $50 if you're purchasing this in, you know, a perfect package. But that's the general range. You can do pretty well finding these figures online right now for $10 to $15 plus shipping. Just don't, you know, be thinking short saber, long packaging, you got to pay $100, $200, $300, $400, $500. That's just not true. They're not that rare. Hope you enjoyed the video. It gives you some ideas of the variations of the figures, how to tell what the difference is, how to track them by looking at the number on the back. And it'll just give you some information so that you can be more informed if you're going to be purchasing any of these figures. Please check out my YouTube channel, Sci-Fi Collector Reviews. I hope you subscribe. Thanks.